We have such a treasure and a special gift and an angelic voice that I have to say, we are bringing to the show this morning, Laura Osnes. She is in the latest movie exclusively streaming on Great American Pure Flix, Just in Time, which is a Candace Cameron Bure presents feature. Laura is a two-time Tony Award nominee and is all over the media. This woman is phenomenal. But here's what I love about her. You guys all know I lived in New York for a really long time. She was in performances on Broadway and Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella, Bonnie and Clyde. Other Broadway credits include Bandstand, Anything Goes, South Pacific, and Grease. Absolutely Grease. So she has charmed millions in 5 Hallmark Channel original movies, and also has been seen on Great American Family and Pure Flix, and the Christmas special, A Dash of Christmas, one of my absolute favorites. So, DC, get ready. We welcome Laura to the show. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, Eden. That was quite the introduction. I'm so honored. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. So, Just in Time, I had watched it over the Easter holiday, but what I love about the fact that it's now exclusively streaming, it talks so much about God giving us second chances and meeting us where we are, honestly. And a couple things that I really loved about just the movie themes and our conversations that I really want to kind of bring into Just in Time, obviously, is an Easter story. It's about new beginnings and second chances. But if you could share with our audience basically an overview about Just in Time, but also if you could also share how it impacted you both in your professional career and also your personal journey with the Lord.
Yeah, that's a huge question. So if I forget the second piece, we'll come
That's
back to it.
fine. That's fine.
The movie, as you said, has such a redemptive message. It's about a married couple who is struggling with infertility, and it's caused a lot of contention in their relationship. They decide to take a little break for the weekend, and Hannah, my character, is left to kind of go on this journey of self-discovery and needing to depend on something bigger than herself. And she finds she learns all of these lessons throughout the weekend that lead her to find faith and her need to give up control and try to do things herself. And it's a really beautiful, beautiful story about restoration and healing in a marriage, learning to communicate, forgiveness, learning patience, all kinds of little beautiful things that are wrapped up in this journey that these characters get to go on. And as far as my journey, I was delighted to get to play Hannah. And I think so many people will be able to relate to her, both because whether you're a believer or not, I feel like it challenges you to search for faith, ask questions, and not being afraid to ask questions or wonder about all of those obstacles that life throws at us and how in the world we're supposed to overcome them, that Hannah, is forced to deal with. But it's sometimes at our lowest, most breaking point is exactly what we need to be able to grow and heal and find faith and learn to depend on something bigger. So I just think it's so beautiful. And I definitely was able to bring my own faith journey into that. I feel like God showed up on set in so many ways. There's rich, complex scenes and dialogue and questions that are asked in this film that I felt God was really in and a part of. And my prayer was always that it would come off really authentically to anybody that was watching it, that we were bringing truth and light in each of these scenes and in each of these topics and themes.
You were quoted as saying in Pure Flix Insider, quote, God jumpstart 2024 with an opportunity to film a beautiful new movie on Vancouver Island. You wrote on your Instagram page, though we battled snow and some frigid temps on set, I pinched myself every day, so grateful to help me bring this meaningful story and message of Just in Time for all of us during this Easter season, but also just in general. I sit there and I read this knowing that you're a woman of faith. We, the American people, are in such uncertain times. And if we're raising a family, if we're moms, if we're dads, if we're, single, working on Capitol Hill, like a lot of my audience does, you have brought such inspiration of faith, both in your personal career, but also on the big screen with Just in Time. Share a little bit about your inspiration over time and your life verse, which is one of my favorites.
Oh, thank you for saying that. It's such an honor. I don't take the responsibility that God has given me and the platform that he has given me
Mhm.
lightly. And it has always been a goal and prayer of mine to be able to be a light and just to love people well, whether it's in the entertainment industry or people who are sitting in the audience or at home on their couches watching the art that I get to help be a part of. Um, I think, yeah, there's a lot of darkness in the world. There's a lot of contention in the world. There's a lot of content on TV that, might be questionable for families to watch, or you can't trust various networks because you never know what you're going to see. And what I love about Great American Family is that the content is always going to be redeeming, is always going to be safe and trustworthy to put your kids in front of, to put your family in front of. And I'm honored to get to be a part of that and that goal and that mission. My life verse, Proverbs 3, 5, and 6, is trust in the Lord with all your heart, lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. And I have just found in this very volatile entertainment industry that I get to be a part of and feel called to, it is a roller coaster. And I often wonder how people survive without faith in this industry. And I would think the same for your listeners.
Yeah.
You said in DC on Capitol Hill, like, the world is crazy. It's going to throw you curveballs. It's going to throw you hardship. There's going to be joys too and wonderful things. But to be able to have a peace and a steadiness because we are rooted in something that is solid and having a firm foundation of faith, like, honestly has kept me sane and positive and at peace despite the craziness. So I just have been so grateful that I don't have to try to control my life, that I can trust God to provide, to bring opportunities, to just again be such a rock for me. And I'm so grateful for that.
One thing that I love about Just in Time, it talks about leading anybody on a journey to leading you and the characters on a journey to unlock the secrets to life and relationships, which is what life is all about. It encourages you, excuse me, in the tough times and challenges you to persevere when things seem all but lost. And I wanted to translate that into everyday life. We God has placed us here in a journey, like you said, whether you were a Christian or not. And we take steps of faith and hope that the journey continues to take us to our hopes and our dreams and whatever God may have in store. And sometimes we don't understand it, we don't see it. And it's in the in between times that sometimes He really connects with us, or He's
Sure.
guiding us. And as you have basically gone from so many different aspects of being on Broadway to now being in Nashville, and just the aspect of your career going from the stage to now being in Nashville and being a part of that greater community down there. Can you talk about the steps of faith that you had to take on your journey from one aspect of being in New York and then going to Nashville? Just a night and day transformation, if you will.
Yeah, thanks for touching on that. I had a pretty hard exit from New York. I'm not afraid to talk about it. I had kind of a bout with cancel culture, and it was really hard. I lost a lot of friends. I lost a lot of my career kind of successes and what I had built in New York kind of overnight. And we felt like we needed to move and get out of that environment and start over in Nashville. And what felt like my everything I had built had been burned down. I now, 2.5 years later, am seeing beauty in the ashes, and God being able to challenge me and use that very painful opportunity to push me into new forms of creativity, push me toward new relationships, push me toward having a different place and sphere of influence. And I'm astounded. I'm doing things now that I never would have considered 2.5 years ago because I was comfortable and I was successful doing what I loved. And And all of this stuff. And sometimes this big, like what I thought was a monkey wrench and essentially a super painful, like door closed experience has opened so many other windows. And I'm still on that journey. I'm still learning and figuring out what that is. But seeds that we planted the last few years are beginning to bloom. And I'm so excited. I'm excited. I'm filled with hope for what God is going to do in the next 5 to 10 years in Nashville. I think it's a growing community of people in the entertainment industry that maybe have similar experiences to me. And I'm excited to find those people, find that community of people that want to make art and creativity that is redemptive or has a hopeful message in the midst of the, and I don't mean to say anything against Hollywood and the New York Broadway scene, but I think a lot of artists have maybe felt a little pushed out of those worlds, or the content that's being created is not something that people can necessarily want to be a part of or be proud of. And being on the other side of that now, I get really excited about what's to come. Not to say I may not ever go back or do, other projects. I just think I'm open. I'm so surrendered to where God is gonna blow me next, because I never would have guessed I would be here where I am now, 2-3 years ago. And it's just nice to be able to trust him and not feel like, as much as we try to control and want to have control, I'm like, wow, God, I learned now how to completely surrender and go, you are going to push me in new ways and I'm here for it. The best place I can be is in the center of God's plan.
Absolutely. You said it so eloquently. And, I sit there and say, though we were in different industries, the being pushed out piece, that censorship piece, that being, counterculture piece happened also for me within my own communications realm. And
Sorry.
oh, no, 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 you don't have to apologize, because you know what? God's like huge. He's
Right.
huge. He wins. He wins in everything. So whether I was at Fox News in New York and you were on Broadway, the same thing. God has a plan, and we really need to inspire others who may be struggling in their faith, who may be saying, what is this next piece for me in whatever industry we are? And, living in New York and being in DC now, and then being in Nashville, all have their own climates to them. But with that said, I want to inspire you. I want to inspire you to keep pushing on, inspiring our listeners, because we are looking at November saying, okay, Lord, what's next? Here we go. And wanting those who are serving in our nation's capital to feel encouraged, to feel lifted up. And that's what I love about bringing Great American Pure Flix over to the All American Book Club. You guys have such amazing inspirational stories, both on the screen and off the screen. In the final minute that I have left with you, I would love to hear, what other adventures do you have coming down the pike? I have been watching your social sites, so I do know you have other things coming, but I'd love for you to share it with our audience.
You're so sweet. Thank you. And I feel like we have a lot of creative irons in the fire. My husband and I started a production company. We're making a documentary about a local theater company here in Tennessee that works with adults with special needs and disabilities. I write music, and I've been releasing music, kind of sharing my story through song the last couple years and becoming an independent artist in that way. We're building a couple concert series that we feel called to create here. We have a bunch of projects. I just wrote a script for a potential like Christmas rom-com movie. I would love to end up pitching to GAF or to Hallmark or some other platform. So I'm doing all these things that I never did or would have done had God not moved me from New York and what I was doing before. So like you said, God is bigger than it all, and is using me and my creativity and the gifts he gave me and my influence in completely different ways now. And it's really exciting. So thank you for following along and supporting. It means a lot.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, I look forward to hearing what's next. And I really am hoping that I will get to see you in a couple Christmas rom-coms this coming holiday season. So I'm so grateful that we can support you, Laura Osnes, Great American Pure Flix, now streaming just in time. Second chances, third chances, got it, always wins. So thank you so much for joining the All American Book Club. I'm so glad to have you here.
Thanks, Eden. Take care.